The Business Mentor Talks is vlogged by no other, Armando Butz Bartolome, in cooperation with the Manila Times. It aims to bring to life and recognize entrepreneurs who constantly strive to create a living for the community as well. Listen to the Business Mentor Talks with Butz Bartolome.
Morning, we woke up a young entrepreneur, okay? He is so busy, but he can't say no to my invitation. So again, it's a very, very interesting. Maganda itong usapan natin ngayon because we have a young man whose aim is to help the young entrepreneurs. And he started a very, very dynamic, out-of-the-box, they call it New Bold University, NBU. So without further ado, let me introduce to you Mr. Ralph Layco. Ralph, good morning, good Sunday to you. How are you today?
Good morning, Tito Boots. I love your energy. Nakakamiss yung energy ninyo. Walang kupas. We've been working together more actively 10 years ago. And the way you were before and the way you are now, it's as if nothing changed. So thank you for having me, Tito. I will never say no to an invitation from you.
Right. Thank you, Ralph. But anyway, Ralph, what really made you an entrepreneur? What did you see in yourself that, yung bang, ano ba yung kakayahan mo na sabi mo, kaya ko ito, gagawin ko ito? What is in Ralph's character that really propelled you to become an entrepreneur, Ralph?
The truth about this, Tito, is even if I say na because I have parang curiosity about things, it's really because I saw this first with my dad. So when I was young po, he always brings me to his shops. My dad po, si Hector Layco. Still young then, like you. Very young pa rin, never stops.
Oh, never aging, no?
Never aging. Ngayon, with kids and a new wife, no? And
Yeah.
they're having a great family. Si Dad, when we were young, he built kasi his own business around steel. And it was in a beginning phase. I remember every day being surrounded by ingay, being surrounded by people. And he always brings me around, and I've always seen him being a leader for his people. I've always been seeing him being engaged in new ideas, new opportunities. And for me, when I was young, I think that was just give me a really great example of how life should be lived, and that is really to be lived for others. Na he always thinks how many jobs pa pwede pa natin mabigay. Ano pa yung pwede natin gawin. And parang that guy on a mission na kind of life stuck with me. And then eventually, when I got older, he told me to take marketing as a course. And eventually pala, I loved it. And then when I graduated from college dito, after some time lang in corporate, I started being entrepreneur because I first learned it from my dad.
Good. So you are a product of the steel. From the man of steel. Okay,
Yeah.
your dad. Okay. So it's really an influence of your dad, right? Who really honed you and probably tinuro ka sa marketing na dati ayaw mo. Ano ba yung marketing niya? But later on you loved it. But tell me about something that you started 5 years ago, and the NBU, really, it rocked the boat. What is NBU, Ralph?
When NBU is a pop-up campus project that we started 5 years ago. 2019, I remember I was looking for a purpose in life. I was having a spiritual battle. By that time, sabi ko, what is really my purpose? Until there was this guy that I was in college, with he was my schoolmate in college, who was confused. He was working in a call center. There's nothing wrong in being in a call center, but that was not really his calling. Has dark eyes. He was doing really things that are, I don't know, very just distractions. And I saw that he lacked that spirit that he had when he was younger. He was very talented. I felt that I needed to ask him what's happening, and then he said that he just doesn't know what to do because his parents wanted him to have a safe job, but he just cannot do what his passions are. I felt that moment when he said that, yeah, this is very sad because I get to do my passion, my desires, my follow my curiosity, and it's unfair for me that another person could not. So when I had that interview with him or discussion with him, it left me this parang challenge. Like, how can I change the life for people like my friend? And that was like my mind, eventually dito parang nabuntis ka ng new idea na hindi ka niya papatulugin ng ilang linggo. And then, para eventually, ano ba? Parang ano gagawin natin? Until I realized, I had this light bulb moment that I realized that one of the biggest reasons why people could not succeed is because the educational system that we grew up with really is more of providing us with instructions, but really didn't provide us with a curious mind. It didn't really ask the educational system didn't really inspire the minds of people to ask questions, to pioneer new ideas, and to also be stronger when it comes to their strengths. I feel
Yeah.
it's been it did a really great job in giving us a great start, but we're not here to make people who follow the instructions, but to look into problems and make solutions out of it.
So in other
So
words, Ralph, you saw yourself that hindi lang ikaw pala nag-iisa, di ba? You're in a state of a little bit of confused, ano ba ang direction. And then here you are, there's another body. So you're able to solve a pain point solution, di ba? Nagkaroon ka ng solution, no? Was it really easy to start something new but probably something out of the box, something that is so innovative? Ano ba ang mga challenges mo noon, Ralph? Na sinabi mo, pop-up university. Wow, what is pop-up university?
yeah, um, pop-up. So yun nga tito, no, when I had that idea na it's the educational system that was the problem, eventually I started thinking of solutions. What if? What if?
Mhm.
Entrepreneurs puros what if ang kanilang isip eh. They don't use the box. They think of another way on how to express the box. So I said, what if we bring together like-minded and like-hearted and passionate people who wants to be an entrepreneur, who wants to follow their dreams and curiosity into one space, number one. Number two, what if we can bring experts as your actual teachers? Because teachers are good, but experts provide you with real-life experiences
Correct.
and ideas that schools could not. So what if we bring them to one vacuum in space, give them a number of time, let's say 4 days, and then provide them with a transformative space. I really believe, Tito, that education is not about education for others is about adding ideas to people and
Mhm.
awareness. But for me, the one that moves the needle is transformation. And I have a certain gift. I have a certain thing, Tito. What I do is in that 4 days that we bring together those people, we change the lights. We have a lot of activities. We have very different activities that happens in a day. That my ultimate goal is that in that day, a person feels that their mindset is shifted. That should be the goal when it comes to education. To really help them realize that they could be something bigger than their current self. And then eventually, Tito, when I had that idea, from my own money, I started a pop-up school 2019. I brought my friends as my first teachers. I asked people to join. I advertised it. I made it as much as possible clear for people to understand. And it turned out really good. I just had a few losses, but that's the point of being an entrepreneur. You're just unstoppable. Even if you have some losses, you see the bigger picture. So I did it again 2020, and then that's when that time you were invited, Tito, to be one
Yeah.
of our mentors for NBU,
Oo.
together with other great mentors as well. And then we were in one space. It was a beautiful space. Everybody was alive and asking and has curious minds. And then it turned out successful, and that's what NBU became.
So, para bang ano, no? Yung bang you were able to concoct something na give them space for people who concoct something
Yes.
na did it ever occur to you na will this succeed or you were just unstoppable, Ralph? You were just so bent on pushing that.
Right.
Uh, did it ever occur to you? Because some people, di ba, whenever you have some ideas, you'll say, then the doubtful Thomas is actually hitting you. And some people would say, oh nga, no, wag na lang. But you never stopped, right? I mean, you even incurred loss, but you say, yeah, but this is just an investment. This is something that I would pursue. But how did the first batch react to your first set when you rolled out the NBU?
Yes. So when we started NBU 2019, it turned out that we had losses of around 300,000 pesos. That's still substantial. That's a loss, and for another mind of a businessman, that would be like, oh, we'll not continue this. Hindi naman tayo kumikita. Pero hindi ko po goal ang kumita eh. Eventually, I know that is a consequence of doing a sustainable business. Pero the point of a business is to have a mission. So we will always incur losses. Pero the thing about an entrepreneur is that we have an unstoppable spirit, especially if we have a clear picture in our mind and the big why we're doing this.
Mhm.
So after po NB 2019, nagpahinga ako sandali. Siyempre napagod yung time na yon. And people, our students were messaging us, Ralph, nagme-meditate na kami ng family ko. Ralph, I started my own podcast. Thank you for the inspiration, Ralph. I finally started my own business. And in the 5 years, Tito, that we've been doing this, we've really, and you know that you're also a witness, some of our students and entrepreneurs who joined
Yes.
NBU also consulted with you. They're now successful. A lot
True.
of them are successful entrepreneurs. A lot of them are great people of society who wants to contribute. And that for me is that fulfillment could not be paid by money.
Correct,
So
correct.
I'm
Tama yun,
really
no? Kasi Ralph, minsan, no, yung bang years, yeah, tama ka. You're just normal person. Napagod ka, pahinga ka muna. But during that sort of restful retreat that you're saying, you're trying to re-energize, bigla na lang susulpot yung mga fruits of your labor, right? I mean, yes, I met somebody, and in fact, I will be featuring one of your students who's so successful, he
yes,
rocked the boat. He rocked the
super.
boat on laundry. Super, super. Kasi I think you're able to boost up the feeling of people na I don't want to be cowed down. I don't want to be, for example, hanggang dito na lamang ba? Hindi eh. A person's mind is so limitless, no? And you're the one who boosted that, di ba? Para
Um,
bang ikaw yung nag-kick off to them na, yeah, you can do it. Yeah, you can do it. And how many students so far have undergone NBU now?
Ito, I think we're more than 1,000, maybe almost reaching 2,000. The thing about NBU, Tito, is even we have this annual events. Even during the pandemic, we
Yeah.
did an online version of it. Um, Actually po, NBU is just the flagship program, the one that is more of a one-week event. It's just the beginning of what NBU could be. NBU by design is about activating people's potentials. And if you
Yun.
have that big question, there's a lot of answers for that. So, other than the flagship program that we're having, we did Tito NBU School for Parents noong 2020 because I feel that the reason why people are limited, a lot of people are limited, is because also of the nurturing of their parents when they were younger. Not because the parents were at fault, but because the parents just didn't have the chance to be taught or to learn how to be a better parent.
Exactly.
So when we
Exactly.
did that, we have around 300 students. And during the pandemic, ito po yung pinagkakabisihan ko para po may magawa ko. Especially dahil magkasama tayo nung pandemic, di ba, yung mga pamilya, they don't know how to be with each other. So sabi ko, let's do something about this. And we were able to help 300 families during those 4 cohorts that we did. And so yeah, it's not a lot. 2,000 is not a lot, but
Yeah,
uh,
but
there's
you're
always
talking
more.
about 2,000 minds sparking entrepreneurship, sparking innovative ideas. In other words, that's exponential, di ba? I mean, sasabog yung dami nun, no? The goodness, no? And I like your idea, no? During the pandemic, you were able to hit again another solution for parents naman, MBU for parents. So, what is now the next step for MBU? Probably MBU for kids.
Tito, I can openly share this. I have no problem if some people will also be inspired by this. What is currently in the plan this year, Tito? I really surrendered this to God. I
Correct.
had a season. I said I will not. Sabi ko, nakakapagod ang itong NBU kasi parang number one, it's really the challenge of being being given with the mission. Number one, nakakapagod siya as it gets bigger. And number two, you get also there are personal problems that goes along the way. Until you realize that Holly could not stop you. You
Correct.
might be having a time of your life that you would question the purpose. 5 years is really long. Sabi ko, okay na yan. At least nakatulong na tayo. But even though my I have other businesses that I have that I've been nurturing, growing, it still is the thing that I sleep at night, that keeps me awake.
Correct.
And then it only means it needs to be taken. So that's the
So you
moment.
started, yeah, you started the movement. You started the movement, and there's no stopping. So have you produced the people who want to help you, who want to be part of the NBU, who want to spread the good news of the NBU?
That's true. So Tito, parang those first 5 years, is more me and my team. But this time around, this is me and leaders who will join.
Ayun.
So ngayon, na-realize ko na, okay, I just need to have more delegation with a set of people that I can work with and I can nurture, who can understand the mission and will do this bigger than I do. And I will be with them making this happen. So going back, Tito, to what you said, NBU this year will have NBU Branding Masterclass for entrepreneurs who could not yet fully actualize their big idea. Branding
Correct.
Master is an immersive 2-day event. We have, of course, the NBU flagship event happening on last week of August. And this is like the biggest yet it could be. And I'd love to communicate with you too, Tito, for that.
Yeah.
It's going to be a great time. And then, of course, eventually, Tito, one of my goals is when everything gets more settled and we have proper leaders, is to continue NBU School for Parents, because there's no actual school for parents that I see that feels like a thing. That is something na sabi ko, with God gives me more energy and more, people to work with. This is something we can do. And of course, not maybe NBU kids, but really just an uh, an opportunity. It's an event dito where people who are on their people are taking their college degrees, or people who just graduated their degrees, will understand their core strengths. So
Oh,
it's like a 2-day event where their strengths will be clarified, and the strengths finder coach or the strengths coach will provide them with a good understanding of how they could navigate their life given their strengths. Because I believe, Tito, that the
mm,
best way for us to get to the next level of our lives is through the strengths that was provided to us by God.
correct.
If you use that, you can, if you know that and discover that, you'll be unstoppable, because now you'll be more of who you are than trying to be someone you are not.
So, Ralph, it looks like this is something that will really create waves, no? Starting from here and then spreading to the provinces. Do you see NBU spreading globally?
Not yet, Tito, but definitely, it's God who will give that dream. If it's planted in me, it will be planted in me, and I'll just
Uh-huh.
my job here is to just surrender and take what order ang gagawin ni God.
Correct, correct. But tell me, a lot of people are saying now, yung mga kabataan ba ay ano ba ang ginagawa ng mga kabataan ngayon? Kasi marami nagsasabi, what future does the young people have? And they're always glued on their cell phones, no more social contact, no more,
Yes.
yung bang nagiging introvert, imbis na nagiging socially active because of the pandemic. How do you see now the future in the next few years about the youth? Because we have now the generation alpha, right?
Yes.
We're not talking anymore of millennials. We're talking of Lana Gen Z, but we're
Yes.
talking now of the generation alpha, who is what, 2009? We're born 2009. Ano ang thinking mo? Because you're now into this kind of environment.
Yes. One is this has happened before, in the sense that when you were younger, Tito, your dad or your lolo would say, iba na naman yung mga kabataan, iba naman yung mga kabataan ngayon. Ano na,
Exactly.
mas busy na, hindi na sila lagi na sa bahay, iba na yung gusto ng trabaho, ayaw na nila. Like, they always have this opinion. And it's normal because all of us, every generation grew up with what they see, what they were exposed to, what they are, who are their idols during the time, and the lifestyle that they have. And it's the same thing with this generation. No? What I do believe is what I realized, Tito, for us to better respond to the changing times is to not fight it. We could not ask people to change because people could not change.
Mm.
The only way that people could get better is to give them a direction that is more inspiring than the current ones that they're currently doing. So, for example, our generation, this young generation we have, Generation Alpha and Generation Z, they're now the young demographics that we have. They're always on their phone, they're always busy, they're always distracted. But the good part of that as well is that they are more confident with themselves. They're starting businesses left and right as young as 15 years old. They're not more opinionated. What we can do is to help shape their values, help shape, give them a direction and an understanding where they can go to. Like how you guys were, Tito, when we were younger. Nasa
Mhm.
talaga tumatanda ba? Pati ako, lahat tayo tumatanda na. When I was younger, Tito, your job was not to just be a supporter as a franchise consultant for entrepreneurs. You were a mentor and
Mm.
you didn't give up. Until now, you're currently doing it. And
Yes.
our job also in my generation is to use that beacon that you've offered to us and extend to us and to also give light to this younger generation. So that is how I see it.
Yeah, right, right. So, tama yun. I like what you said. Don't fight it. Try to understand, especially the older generation. Just like you said, it is a cycle. It repeats. Okay, but again, to encourage them, no? Kasi mas yung mga bata ngayon mas innovative na, no? I mean, imagine young guys can even now do techie, especially with the digitalization that we are in, no? Right? Yeah, I love that. I love that. So, what are your final thoughts and probably tips for people who are saying, okay, I'd like to join. How do I join now NBU? Yan. Kasi I'm sure you're now tickling a lot of people, a lot of our viewers, especially on a Sunday, and they say, paano kaya sumali dito sa NBU? So, Ralph, what are there any requirements? Are there any or link that they can look into that, connect with NBU?
Yes. Definitely they can go to Facebook and look for Newbold U. We have a group there. It's called Startup Flex Philippines, where we will be congregating entrepreneurs who are like-minded and like-hearted and also ambitious to have a safe space. If you're an entrepreneur and you want to be updated about the upcoming events of NBU, I suggest you go to our page and to also go to our new group. And if you want to enroll to upcoming events by NBU, you can go to newboldu.co for you to enroll our upcoming classes this year.
Wow. So, yeah, I won't prolong your time because I know your creativity mind is working still 24/7. And, you're such a young man who gives a lot of hope, no? For us to continue the legacy that we want to live for this generation, di ba? So, yeah, Ralph, thank you very much for the time. Really,
It's
bilib
my
ako sa'yo.
honor.
Saludo ko kay Ralph, the man who grew up in the steel, in the steel
Yes.
fabrication. Despite all the noise, he was
Yeah.
able to focus. No. So again, regards to the family, and
Yes.
I want you to
Dad,
keep up
Dad.
the job. Please update me so that
Yeah.
we can update our viewers about what New Bold University is really turning out. Okay. So again, God bless, and keep it up. Keep that smiling face. You're never, alam mo, parati kang new Ralph, no? There's no old Ralph, right? Okay.
Love
So
it, Tito. Love it.
okay.
Thank
So
you,
Ralph,
Tito,
thank you
for having me.
very much. Thank you.